Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome. Today is November 6th, and we are on chapter 17, Bhagavad Gita. So we are continuing our studies, our discussion on chapter 17. And welcome, everyone. So today is a very auspicious day because we are still continuing our festival of this, what do you call, what festival? Damodara, all right? I hope that you all are still offering ghee lamp. This is the month that actually is a bonus month. You just offer the ghee lamp to Lord Damodara, the baby Krishna, and ask for a boon. Okay. So what boon you should ask? Long life, healthy, big money, all these things. Of course, that is all side effect if you're very positive in life, if you're very enthusiastic in life, all these things is granted by default. Okay. So the boon that we should ask is, because Krishna's promises in Bhagavad Gita, he protects what you have and he supply what you lack. So what he protects your bhakti. Up to which level your bhakti has developed, he protect it. At the same time, he also carry what you lack. So he carries more and more opportunity for you. Okay. So today 17 and tomorrow there's no class because we're having an Amahat program in Ipoh. Then continuing on Friday. Then after that, end. so after November, so December. So I'm not sure because there's no demand yet for the class. So if there's a demand, if there's a new person wants to come and join, I'll love to do so. Okay. But anyway, I'm looking at the possibilities of continuing the class most likely on January. Okay. But if anybody wants it, if you can just recruit and people all to join us, I definitely would like to do it again, because this is so addictive. As what some Prabhu like Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu has been joining all our class from the day one, batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, and also Chaitanya Daya 1, what they call Chyong Prabhu, and also Skanda Prabhu has been following us all the while. So this is something very nice and very addictive, because the stories of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, and to study the Krishna's instruction, it is very, very pleasurable. Okay. So like that. So Friday is chapter 18. I hope that everyone will make it, because that's a Hare Krishna. I
Hare
just
Krishna.
disappeared just now.
Yes. Blank.
Nothing's wrong with my computer. Please, Krishna. No, sorry, the thing went blank. The connection is there, good.
Total
Please charge it.
darkness.
Yeah. No, my computer crashed. Shut down. So, okay, it's still recording. All right, still recording. So what was I saying? So, okay. So chapter 18 is on Friday. I hope that everyone will mix it, because that's going to be the final summary. And of course, thank God it's falling on Friday, because it's also the very long chapter. Okay. Usually they do 2 sessions, part 1 and part 2, but I've compiled it into 1 part. Okay. So without further delay, maybe Krishna has said, start your class. All right. So let's do our invocation prayer. So please, you all can close your eyes, meditate that Srila Prabhupada right in front of you, offering him some nice, beautiful garland, flowers, and all this. All right. And just let's recite this invocation mantra to invoke auspiciousness. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamlam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakada Damadaya Nagara Gramatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasa Chiristarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambra Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestum Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Paditanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhayo Namo Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirai Nasta Prayesu Abhidresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Hari Om Tats. So, today we are continuing our discussion on chapter 17. And this chapter, the title is the division of faith. Okay. In this chapter 17, the summary is there are three types of faith corresponding to and evolving from the three modes of material nature. Okay. The faith arises from the three modes of material nature. Okay. Act performed by those whose faith is in passion. Act and ignorance yield only impermanent material results, whereas act performed in goodness in accord with scriptural injunction purify the heart and lead to pure faith in Lord Krishna and devotional service and devotion to him. So in life, everything is divided into the three modes, even all our things, all our activities. Okay. Like the day, that example I gave, how that our days are divided. First thing, we wake up early in the morning, we're in the mode of goodness. Okay, there's no disturbance. Even the dog doesn't bark in that time. That's why the professional thief like to rob at around that hour. They like to enter the place around 3 o'clock onwards, because that's a time that is total goodness, and people in total ignorance will be snoring at that time. Okay. So early in the morning is total goodness. Then when the sun rises until the sunset is going to be the mode of passion. Okay. That's the time that you're going to work. You'll be like actively going to work, coming, a lot of things actively will be performing. And after the sunset, it becomes mode of ignorance, where person become slumber, they'll become, they'll be tired, and they'll be want to relax. They'll be like more, more relaxed and calm. Okay, so and that mood encourage a person to go to sleep. All right, only when it comes to that mood, when you're very slumber, when you're so sober, you go to bed. So like that, in every activity, it's all divided by the three modes of material nature. Okay, education in the three modes of material nature, the prayers in three modes of material nature, the prayer, the worship. Okay, what are the worships? Okay, what is the worship in the goodness? Even austerity, even when you perform what they call the food that you eat. Okay, everything is divided in the mode. So that means there are the divisions of faith, means there are the faith or the spiritual path divided into these three modes: the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. So Krishna is going to explain about this. When he was explaining, when Gita was spoken around 5,000 years ago, there's no religion exists. The Hinduism was not there, the Buddhism was not there, the Christianity was not there, and Islam was not there. And Judaism, Jainism, nothing existed. There's only one thing called Sanatan Dharma, the eternal Dharma, activity. And that time, the religiosity is divided. Is divided in either you worship in the form, either you worship the Supreme Personality in the form, or you worship is aura, Brahma Jyoti. All right, like this, some says that God has no form. Of course, all that evolved from that belief. Okay, Mayavadi. Then of course, some worship Krishna in the heart. Okay, they say, I've got it in my heart. And some like to study about his character. All right, that is how the division of faith, like the yogas are divided. Jnana yoga, that means studying to know him. Dhyana yoga, that means meditation, to go deep into that and find out to go deep into yourself. And of course, the best and topmost is Bhakti Yoga, which is a loving relationship, the loving way of serving. All right. So like that. So in this chapter, we're going to study that in detail. So ISKCON Malaysia, in collaboration with ISKCON Ipoh, First Garden Namahat Center, proudly presents Gita Gyan, or the summary of chapter 17. So let's take darshan from this beautiful Gauranitai. Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratrise Namaha. And Sri Sri Jagannath Balade Subhatra Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pattakami Bhavatume. Okay. So today we dedicate a program to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And all right, just a quick glimpse about Prabhupada. Yesterday we discussed a bit, as yesterday was Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. So as I said, like yesterday we discussed Srila Prabhupada, how he started from a very childhood, okay, and he used to perform Radha Yatra festival in his neighborhood. When he was such a young boy, he met his guru. Then he tried to preach, and this is the time he used to go to Bombay. Okay, you go to Delhi, from Vrindavan, you go to Delhi to always proofread, and that's when he was what they call mauled, or hit by a bull, and he fainted on the road, right? Then after that, he tried to convince all the gentlemen, and of course, no Indians were interested, because they are just newly after independent, and they really want to enjoy life. And they say, Swamiji, don't waste your time. We just got independence, right? So no one is interested. So he took the Jaladuta and he went to America. And this is at Thompson Park Square. He did his first open, what they call Sankirtan. And so many people attracted to him. and of course, he follows all hippies. And through that, If you see this person here, right? I think that older person, they know him. His name is Allen Ginsberg. Allen Ginsberg is a very famous hippie poet. Hippie poet, all right? Allen Ginsberg. So he and some of the hippies got together. There's a big festival for the hippies, and they say, Swamiji, why not you join us? All right. So before the hippie program starts, when all high on drugs, they start to this is what they call do the concert. So the concert, you see Prabhupada here and Krishna. So that was the banner. Okay. So the famous singers were Grateful Dead, right? All these kind of crazy band were there. And before they could do so, Prabhupada and all the devotees went in and chant Hare Krishna. And everybody started to roar. All right. They were roaring. And that's when officially in this most ignorant place, they're born the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The whole hippies start to join them. And every time they take drugs and next day they will be suffering from hangover. And Prabhupada says, why not I give you a drug, you can stay high forever. They say, got such drug? Yes, come. And he gave them the Maha Mantra. And they were chanting Hare Krishna and they feel like going up, 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 up. They're not going down. Okay. And there was a story. There was a very famous mafia. All right. He's one of the top drug pushers. Okay. He was one of the top drug pusher. And he started to see his business start dwindling. All right. People are not buying drugs from him. LSD, marijuana. Okay. Cracks. Cracks means ganja. So people are not buying drugs. Right? And he started to see his business start going down. And he was wondering, why people are not taking drugs? And somebody said, you know what? He said that he told him, no, there's one man from India, one Swamiji from India. He gave them a drug. They say you can stay high forever. Huh? Really? No hangover. Then he said, oh, then I must go. He wants to come and get to know him so that he can get that contract and says that drugs I will distribute. You don't distribute. He wants to get that sole distributor, something like that. So he went and approached Swamiji and he threatened him. Said, what kind of drugs are you giving? Right? He said, you are a drug pusher and I'm a drug pusher. So we are fellow drug pushers. Right? But the thing is, your drug will stay, you have a hangover, but my drug, you stay high forever. Such a notorious guy. When he came and all the other devotees were so afraid. Just imagine a mafia. But eventually that mafia, he said, then Prabhupada says, why not you just distribute these drugs? All right? And make everyone happy. Even a sober man can take these drugs. And through that, and eventually that person became a disciple. Okay, he became an initiated disciple of Prabhupada. All right? He was the drug pusher, became a devotee. So like that, all the thing happened and so excited and everything started expanding. And he selected Malati and Shyamasundara and Mukunda and his wife, what's the name? Okay, there's two couples. He sent them to England. He said, now you go to England. He said, and they never protested. They never said, Swamiji, I don't know anything. They said, okay, Swamiji, if you say so, I'll do it. And this is the thing. All right, this is the thing you see that Malati and Shyamasundara. Where's Shyamasundara? Right. So these are the way with George Harrison. And that's when the song Govindam Adi Purusham, the song was composed there by the Apple Records. And of course the Radha Krishna Temple. And through that recording, it became a England top chart for, the top album for something like what, 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So all the stations were playing this song. So like that, the Maha Mantra start to spread every town and every corner of England. And like that, it went to America, it came all over the world. And somehow or other, it is a kind of preparation before they go, like the Maha Mantra is always there. Right? And George Harrison was such a nice person. He donated his entire mansion, estate. That means it's a huge property. It's a castle in between, such a huge property. Right? It's a castle with big piece of land. He donated to Prabhupada. And the thing until now, it exists. It is called Bhakti Vedanta Manor in England. Okay, so you don't need to think. And of course, then after that, there's no place he have not been. And this is the one of the most notorious place he been is to Russia. When he wanted to go to Russia, Russia was the most feared nation. Okay, there was a Cold War between Russia and America, and both of them are preparing all for war. Anytime nuclear war and everything, so they're always ready. So Prabhupada was invited by this Professor Satrowsky or something. Satrowsky. He's a professor of Indian studies in a Russian university or something. He got the invitation. So what he did, he took his disciple, the Shyamasundara that went to England, he took him and went to Russia. And the miracle happened in Russia. That was something that shows that Prabhupada is not an ordinary person. Okay, so he went there and everybody saw everybody queuing up to buy fruits, to buy this apple and all these things. So when he went there, suddenly a young boy came and says, he asked about Beatles and Krishna. The thing spread up to Russia, something like that. The young boy attracted. And he said, he told Shyamasundara, you want to meet your guru. You want to understand more or something. I can't recall, but for some reason, he wanted to see him. And he came and met Prabhupada. And Prabhupada spent 3 days with him, taught him the entire philosophy. All right. Just imagine a Russian came, he just taught him this is what this is. Then gave him a Bhagavad Gita and he said, translate this into Russia and say. On the spot, he initiated him. All right. His name is, anyone can recall his name, Prabhu? Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu? What was his name? Sadaputta. No, not Sadaputta.
No.
Okay. I can't recall the name. Anyway, I will share that story here in the group. Imagine 3 days with Prabhupada and gave him an initiation and told him, try to expand this in Russia. All right. Then he left. When he left, Shyamasundara asked, so Prabhupada, do you think it will happen? Everything Krishna's desire. That person translated all the books into Russia by writing. All right. And he started to spread. And today, Russia is world number 2 outside India. Outside India, they are number 1. But in world rank, they are number 2 devotee population in the entire world. There's a saying, Russian never give up. When they took up the bhakti, they exploded. They had so much a problem. And that person, the name is in my mind, but it's not coming out. Okay. So, can anyone Google it? First Russian devotee. First Russian devotee. The first Russian devotee of Srila Prabhupada was a boy who received the gift of Krishna consciousness during the short visit to Moscow. What is his name?
Who? Prabhakar Mishra.
No, Ananta Shanti Das. His name is Anatoly Pinyev. All right. So the international was founded by A.C. Bhakti in the US. The Hare Krishna movement faced challenges in the Soviet Union, including the death of some devotees. However, the movement became part of Russian society. His name is Ananta Shanti Das. And that Ananta Shanti Prabhu was amazing. Yes, Dasarathan, thanks. Yes. He was amazing. I hope that you all can read about his story. He was tortured. He was beaten. The KGB, the way that KGB tortures are so scary. It's even worse than Japanese torture. Right? He has taken into that custody. And he went and preached and all the thing. And suddenly they became a devotee. Suddenly they all become vegetarian. Right? And they couldn't believe, how can you become a vegetarian? So thank God there's one professor came and said, the policy maker in Russian came and said, it's better to become a vegetarian because there's less meat. Right? We don't have enough meat. It's better these fellows become vegetarian. So less meat is consumed. So somehow or other it went on that way. All right. And it happened, and he was this thing. he was beaten, and some or other surprisingly survived. But many devotees died in the KGB concentration camp. So the biggest story that I was truly inspired. Right, there's one particular devotee took all that papers that scattered, he just make into a small ball and took the thread from the cloth and tried to tie all the small that ball, made of papers. Take the papers and just crush it, make into a ball, take the thread and tie, make it to 100, and he was chanting on that. All right. And they told him, you eat beef or you die. They gave him a raw beef and he says, I rather die. And somehow or other, he died. Right. After many years, everybody's looking for him. They don't know where this guy has gone, where the guy has disappeared. So, and after many years, suddenly he remembered the Hare Krishna. They were singing the Radha Yatra. He said, hey, this one I remember. They went and saw that. Then he went and approached the devotees and said, what you're singing? Then he said, there's one fellow prisoner in my prison. He's like this. And say, what happened to him? He died. But what happened? He was chanting. Suddenly one bright yellow light came and he just fell and the bright yellow light went off. And and of course he was like so shocked when he was telling the story to the devotee. It was like haunting. And he thought that's how the people die. But of course, that's the way the devotee leaves the body. Right? But anyway, Ananda Shantidas has created the thing. He planted the seed. Of course, he underwent a severe torture. Okay, that is again another kind of mafia way of penetrating and smuggling. They smuggle books. Like one of my god brother, what is his name? Chiranjiva Prabhu. He's a Chinese body devotee in Malaysia. He was preaching in Sweden and tried to penetrate into West Germany, East Germany, and also even smuggle book into Russia. He's a Malaysian devotee, Chinese, right? So he was my biggest inspiration, mentor. So they all tried, and eventually Russia is where it is. That's the miracle of Prabhupada. Just 3 days with Prabhupada. The Russia became, the ISKCON, Hare Krishna became a #1 religion in Russia. And of course, he met all that big timers, all that professors and everything. He challenged them. He created a fantastic farm community, and he wrote many books. All right, so many books. Okay, sometimes we don't have a lifetime to finish up all these books. That is Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Hare Krishna. Let's look at today's Gita Mahatmya. Ya shunnoti na gitartam kirtayatyeva ya param sravayaccha parartam vai sa prayatti param padam. One who attentively hears and sings the glories and of the purport of the Gita, or reiterates that purport to others. Let me share and teach others. Such a person attains to the supreme destination. Is verse 26 in Vaishnava Tantra. Can you imagine? One who attentively hears and sings the glories of the purport of the Gita, or reiterates, that means he go and share and teach others, encourage others, you also sing along that purport to others. Such a person attains to the supreme destination. That's one thing. After you are studying Bhagavad Gita, you will be fearless. All right. There's a lot of things may happen in front of you. Right? Things may look very awry. Maybe things look scary. Things like, as you can, some or other, sometimes you can come to the crossroad, don't know where to turn right, turn left, or go straight. Right? But here we have no fear. All right. Of course, I want you to experience it, and later you can share with me. All right. So now let's look at understanding the Gita. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. We must remember that. Vedic knowledge is not the question of research. Okay, not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect. Okay, our research work is imperfect. Why? Because we are researching with imperfect senses. Right? Just imagine when you are preparing a food and your ingredients are polluted, or your ingredient is third class. So what can you expect the what they call the final result? All right. Just say you are using the third class ghee that mixed with like what ghee blend, winter blend or something like that. No, you must remember the ghee that sometimes you take is also they mix with palm oil, butter. All right, palm oil mixed with ghee. Sometimes certain like Magnolia, what they call milk that sometimes we buy we think is cow's milk, but that milk is mixed with soya milk. So imagine you are taking this third class ingredient, you are trying to cook something first class. How can it be? The food, the preparation will be third class. So similarly, when we are working, our research is imperfect because we are researching using with imperfect senses. Okay, we have to accept perfect knowledge. So since we cannot come with that, we have imperfect senses. What we should do, we have to accept perfect knowledge. All right, we have to accept the perfect knowledge which comes down. Okay, as is stated in Bhagavad Gita, in the parampara or disciplic succession. Right, it is not out of blue. Suddenly, one Tom, Dick, and Harry suddenly says, "I am God." Oh, I am Jagat Guru. I am the founder of one religious movement, and all these are bogus. So we must understand all this knowledge has to accept it through the disciplic succession, parampara. We have to receive knowledge. We have to receive knowledge from proper source. The source must be proper, okay, in disciplic succession. Why? Beginning with the supreme spiritual master, which is the Lord himself. So that means you see all that knowledge that comes down, it's come from Krishna. Okay, like Kumara Sampradaya, the sons of Brahma, they got the knowledge when they met Vishnu. You know, the four Kumaras. All right, after Brahma was created, the four Kumaras or the four boys. First creation of Brahma, Brahma is the creator. When he got that idea, first he created the four boys. And because he was trying out, the four boys appeared. And he told the boys, now I want you to go and create human being. Go and procreate, create, all right? So, and they said, no, cannot. Say, what do you mean cannot? No, cannot. See, no, I want to know who am I. I want to go and look for this, what they call, for self-realization, why I'm here, who am I in this thing. And Brahma was very upset. You know, when the children going against you, it is not something happening now. You cannot say, those days, I was very obedient child. Now look at my child like that. No, it's happened even the day one Brahma created. The children went against him. And after that, they got a smell of tulasi. Hey, what is that fragrant? They just followed and end up in Vaikuntha Loka. And enter the Vaikuntha Loka. All right. After you enter the Vaikuntha Loka, what happened? You start to see what is happening. And which Vaikuntha is this? Can anyone tell me? Let's see. Anyone can tell me which Vaikuntha is this? Anyone? You all understand my question? Am I audible? Oh, okay. Okay, which Vaikuntha is that, Prabhu? Vaishnava Kripa, Prabhu?
I think it's ordinary Vaikuntha, though. Cannot be
And-
Loka or Krishna Loka.
Yes. What do you call that? Not ordinary. Look, the Vaikuntha that is in a material world. What is that?
Oh, Sweta Deepa, Prabhu.
Exactly. Fantastic, Prabhu. Wonderful. Sweta Dvip. Because after Brahma created within this bubble, and the four Kumaras running and found and went to the Sweta Deep and went there, and they saw that two guards were standing there. Jaya, Vijaya was the guard there. And he went there and he said, and the four boys entered the what they call the Vaikuntha Loka and asked, I want to go in. Who's inside there? And the guards were looking and say, what? I want to know who's inside there. You know, imagine these four young boys, small size boys, ask who's inside there. He said, Vishnu. I want to see him. He said, no, cannot. Why? Because he's sleeping. Nah, I want to see him. Then he said, no, you cannot. And they said, stop it. You are not allowed to enter. And the boys get very angry. You are called, you say I cannot enter. Therefore, I curse you. Curse you that you'll be born into a material planet. Material world. You'll born on earth. Manlogam. Manlogatil pirappai. So you'll born in the material world. So when that commotion happened, And Lord Vishnu said, Narayana said, hey, what is happening out there? Then he came out. Say, what's happening? And when the four Kumaras sees Narayana, they'll get captivated. Oh my God, who are you? Right? They straightway fall at their feet and see. And after that, the two guards will come and tell, oh, Lord Narayana, these boys curse me that I'll be born in this material world, Then the boys will regret the curse and says, well, I give you option. Either you born 7 births as a devotee or 3 births as a demon. Which one do you want? Right? So 7 births, that means you'll be born 7 births in this world as a devotee of the Lord. Or you take 3 births as an enemy of the Lord. And they said, oh, okay, I can come back early. So they take 3 births. So these are the Jai Vijaya became Hiranyakasipu Hiranyaksha, Ravana Kumbhakarna. Ravana Kumbhakarna and Kamsa Sisupala. So these are the people who come and even to become a Krishna's enemy, also you have to be his devotee. Not the real enemy. So all these are beautiful pastimes. So when they saw that and they start to create this parampara, they call Kumara Sampradaya. Right? Then Lord Shiva will attain Rudra. Right? He attains perfection. Then he created the Rudra Sampradaya. Okay? And Kumara Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, the Acharya is Vishnu Swami. And Kumara Sampradaya, the Acharya is Nimbarka Swami. Then after that, Mahalakshmi, Lakshmi will be massaging Krishna's leg, Vishnu's leg in Vaikuntha Loka. In a Karnadaksha, and he'll be massaging the leg. And Lord Vishnu will be very happy. So she created a Sampradaya. She is telling how you should serve Lord Narayana. So that is Sri Vaishnava. The Sri Vaishnava, out of 24 hours, they have ritual 23.5 hours. The one and only place they do a perfect ritual is in Tirupati. Right? They just close the deity, they close the curtain, they say, okay, Lord, please go to bed. Take rest. Just half an hour before the Lord could even sleep, immediately they opened the curtain. Kaushalya, Supraja, Rama, Purva, Sanya, Prabhattate. Say, please wake up. 23.5 hours, ritual after ritual. The way they worship with diamonds and jewels, until today they have it. They have all the things and all the ornaments, which is made of pure, rarest diamond. Thank God the British never found all that, right? Until today. So this is this thing. And then another sampradaya that we are is Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. And how we got it? When Lord Krishna will impart the knowledge to Brahma through the flute. He'll be playing the flute. He'll play. They call what they call Sabda Pramana. Sabda means sound. He initiated Brahma through the knowledge of the creation through the sound. Right? So that means we understand that all the disciplic succession will begin from the Lord himself. All right? It comes from the Lord itself. That's why it's authentic and authorized. Even the 4 Sampradaya, they have 4 different ideology or 4 different ideas about serving the same Lord. Right? The Sri Vaishnava says you have to do all the rituals. Right? The Nimbarka Swami, or this is what they call the Kumara Sampradaya, they think that Krishna must be worshipped in the baby form. Right? So that means but end of the day, everyone have that ecstatic, loving service to the Lord. It is not out of sudden one flood come up, ding, I am God. Out of sudden one flood, ding, I am the founder of this thing. Suddenly they create, that Jagat Guru, that the Adi Yogi they created is never found in Vedas. Even in Shiva Purana, there's no such form like that. It is just out of his imagination. He just take half of the body of the Lord Shiva and just created that. So like that. So anyway, so that means discipline beginning from the supreme spiritual master, the Lord himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual master. Succession of spiritual master. So Prabhupada was received the thing from his Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, and his disciple is Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and his disciple, like my spiritual master, Jayapataka Swami, or this Vaishnava Kripa's spiritual master, who is called Janananda Goswami. Right? So like that, it comes down in parampara. Okay? So Arjuna, the student who took lesson from Lord Sri Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of the Bhagavad Gita. Must remember that, and not others. Well, in Bhagavad Gita, I think I'm convinced in this. So I take this. No. You shouldn't do that. You cannot take only one portion of the Bhagavad Gita. You have to accept everything. Or take this and not that. You cannot do that. Because of course, we will understand the Bhagavad Gita according to the mood. Maybe for a beginner, they understand Karma Yoga more than others. Right? That means I offer this to Krishna. So that means I make some money end of the month, I give some donation for Krishna, for the propagation of Krishna consciousness, to maintain the temple center. Then I get some extra money, I buy some books and distribute for Krishna. So maybe that suits for a newcomer, for a beginner. Right? It starts from there, Karma Yoga. Then after that, some people say, well, I got some taste, but those who are people on a second stage, they say, okay, what is the spirituality about Krishna? I am not the body, I am the soul, I am this, I am the wow. Okay. So that one suits a certain kind of people. So that means they don't understand what is in chapter 18. So you must understand, your understanding, the Bhagavad Gita reveal himself to you according to your maturity in bhakti. It's amazing, I'm telling you. After 30 years, I still find Bhagavad Gita is like amazing. I'm still learning something new on a daily basis. We must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation. All right, we cannot interpret. We cannot interpret the Bhagavad Gita as we like, without deletion. All right, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. All right, like some says, if you see like some movement, they don't read and understand the Gita. They always love to sing the Gita. Oh, song of God, let's sing. Apuryamanam mahato na saubakam. They sing. They will sit and sing the entire Bhagavad Gita. What's the meaning? Don't know. So what's the point? The Bhagavad Gita was spoken for you to understand and achieve self-realization. Not simply sing like a karaoke. Okay. So the Gita should be taken. So Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of the Vedic knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita has to be taken as a perfect presentation of the Vedic knowledge. Why? Because he comes from Krishna himself. So Vedic knowledge received from a transcendental source, and the first word was spoken by the Lord himself. And the word spoken, okay, and the word that's spoken by the Lord, okay, now you understand the word spoken by the Lord is called Aparusheya. Aparusheya. That means that they are different, from the word spoken by the person of the mundane world. All right. Aparusheya means, that means the meaning of that is, it's different from person of a mundane creation, like human being is spoken, is different. All right. Who is infected with 4 defects. So every human being is infected with 4 defects. So what are the mundanest defect? Number 1 is sure to make mistake. Right? Every time we make mistake. Yes or not? There's no such thing that a person make mistake. He is illusion of cheating others. And number 4 is limited by imperfect senses. His senses are not perfect. So with perfection, one cannot deliver perfect information of all knowledge. So with this, we can deliver perfect information, the parampara. Okay. So with that thought, let's start our program. Chapter 17, the divisions of faith. Okay, just give me a second. Why my internet not stable? Oh, 2.4. Okay, just give me a second. Connect to 5G. Okay. Did I lag just now? Did I lag?
Yeah, just for a while only. A few seconds.
Oh, for a few seconds. That's the thing. Okay. All right, let's look at chapter 17, the divisions of faith. 17.1. Arjuna starts speaking. Arjuna vacha. Arjuna vacha. Ye shastra viddim uttirja yajante shradhayanvita Teshang nishta tuka Krishna sattvang aho rajastama. Arjuna inquired, "Oh Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principle of the scripture?" So he's asking, what is the situation? What will be the situation for those who do not follow the principle of the scripture? Okay, they don't follow the rules of the scripture, but worship according to their own imagination. Okay, are they in goodness, passion, or ignorance? So sometimes this kind of imaginative kind of worship become very prominent. There's one story about a lady, in Vedic system, they say, if you're doing something auspicious, if a cat comes in, is considered bad luck, inauspicious. Okay. So this particular lady was getting the daughter married. While they're going to tie the Mangal Sutra, the tali, they're going to tie, immediately there's a cat came, right? And everybody got a shock. And just to take care of the situation, she just took the cat and she told the other part, he said, well, in our family, we will keep a cat before we tie the Mangal Sutra, the tali. Oh, they say, oh, really? Okay. They tie the tali. And she thought, wow, escape. So when that girl, in the future, when her child got married, before they got married, and she said, my mother said in our family, we must keep a cat. So she said, go and get a cat. So she brought the cat and kept it. So she tied the tali, the Mangal Sutra. They got married that way. Then the girl, that means the granddaughter, after seeing that, they said, no, in our family tradition, we have to keep a cat and the cat should look at us and we should tie the tali. So first is just a coincidence. Second is a belief. Number third, reinforcement. And after the fourth generation, it became a tradition. And that tradition, they said, oh, my great-great-grandmother did that. She lived a full married life. She was married for 80, 50 years, 60 years. They had a long life. So that is the auspicious things about cat. So like that. So imagination like that. There's so many imaginative way of life. So that's why Arjuna is asking, what are they? Where are they situated? And 17.2 Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Trivida Bhavati Shraddha Dehinang Sasvabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tangshranu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature. Okay, what are the modes of nature that you are in? Acquired by the embodied soul. So according to the modes of nature, acquired means what? The nature that you receive. Okay, so can you choose the nature? No. You have acquired, that means the nature is given to you. Until as long as we are in the mother's womb, we are always neutral. But once we born, that's when we found out, and the nature will catch you. Okay, just born and say, oh my God, I born deep in the jungle in Amazon. Right? Oh, I born into the family of Chinese. Oh, I born in the family of Malays. I born in the family of Indians. I born here, I born there, everything. Right? So that is acquired. So that means that according to the mode of nature acquired by the embodied soul. That means the soul, that means we got a body. One's faith can be three kinds. So we may have three kinds of faith. Number one, the faith in goodness, passion, or in ignorance. Okay? Now hear about this. Krishna says, now hear about this. So 17.4. So Krishna says, Yajante satvika devan yaksha rakshangshi rajasa pretan bhuta ganang chanye tamasa jana. So this is how Krishna is starting to introduce. He says, men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Okay. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance worship the ghost and spirit. So Krishna started this way. Goodness, sattvic. Devan means deva, devatas, or the demigods. Oh my God, why my internet is still not stable? Okay. All right. So that means this is the thing. So he says, the man in mode of goodness. Okay, those who are in mode of goodness, they worship the demigods. Okay, they go and worship this Shiva, Ganapati, Kartikeya, and all these things. They are in the mode of goodness. All right. And those who are in mode of passion, that means those who are passionate, they worship the demons. Like what? What does it mean by demons? Say, like, for instance, like now, today was Donald Trump's election result, right? And Donald Trump won. And when you see that Donald Trump won, many people start to rejoice, especially some silly Indians in India. They even built a temple for Donald Trump. Crazy fellas. And not only that, even the people who their political parties, their allies, everybody start to say, oh, Donald Trump, they worship Donald Trump. They work so hard day and night. All right. So for them, like sometimes even you can see even in Malaysia, yeah, I've seen, but not as bad as in India. Right. They see when the political leader, when the leader, like that means the leader of a political party will be standing there, and the followers, the supporters, when they call up to get some recognition or what, they come and they fall at their feet, right? And the leaders will be just looking elsewhere. Like Jayalalitha. That's one of the things I saw. She was sitting. Suddenly one flick come and do dandavat. Right? Amma, my mother. Madness. So this is the people in the mode of passion. And they worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance. Right? Those who are in total ignorance, these are the people who worship the ghosts and spirits. Right? So these are the people who will always like to stay at night. They like to do this kind of awful worship. All right? Like what they call, like there's a graveyard Kali, Sudugatu Kali, right? Then Batra Kali, all this kind of, and also sit in the thing and do Jibumba, right? Do all these kind of black magics and all these things. So these are the people in the mode of ignorance. Okay. Then after that, Krishna straight jump to the food, verse 8 to 10. Okay. Of course, in between 4, 6, 7, 8, of course, please read. Right now we take verse 8 to 10. So let's look at food. The food in the mode of goodness. Okay, because the food is very, very important. You are always nourished by what you eat. You are today of what you have eaten yesterday. And you'll be tomorrow of what you're eating today. Today you eat rubbish, tomorrow you'll suffer. Okay, so the most strongest senses in our body, in the entire thing, is our tongue, our tongue. Okay, we have worked so hard. For what? So that we can have palatable food. Right? We can stay away from any kind of sense gratification. But the food, okay, is something that no one can tolerate. Okay, so we must understand the food that you eat can also liberate you. The food that you eat can also send you to hell. And of course, the food that you eat also can decide your next birth. So a lot of things. Okay, we have studied, right? Those who like to eat meat, they become a lion, tiger, and all this. So food is very, very important. So now Krishna is explaining about the food in the 3 modes. So the food in the mode of goodness. What are the food in mode of goodness? Juicy, wholesome, fatty, pleasing to heart. Fatty means ghee, all right? Pleasing to heart. So what is the effect? It increases duration of life. It purifies, strengthen your body, healthy, and it's very satisfying. Right? When you take all these kind of foods, it is very satisfying. All right, the food in mode of passion is too bitter. Okay, the food is too bitter. So, sour, too sour, and pungent. What is pungent? Like a patai. Okay, the stinky beans, like durian. All these are pungent, right? So too bitter, too sour, pungent. Okay, and they are very salty. They are hot. They are dry and burning. So what is the effect? The effect is it creates distress, misery, and disease. All right, just like sometimes you see the too bitter, too sour. Like they eat asam, or they like to eat this kind of hot, salty, hot, dry, burning, like nasi kanda. They take the fries and mix all the things. Pasti sur. I don't understand what is the meaning of sur. All right. So I was somebody showed me that video clip. That flew like what? Nasi kanda terbang. The flying nasi kanda. It just do like this, and the gravy fly and fall. And people were cheering. I say, what is so big deal about that? Crazy people. And the friend said, oh, mama, itu, mamu, oh, pasti sur, like that. And the floor all flying, and the whole plate was full of gravy with varieties of meat and all these things. It is total this thing. All right. So what happened to those who eat that? They'll be in distress. They'll be miserable, and it's always disease. Okay, passion. And those in the mode of ignorance. Okay, What is the mode of ignorance? Tasteless. The food which is not tasty. Right? Like sometimes people like to take tasteless, right? Sometimes you eat the food which is no taste. Decompose. Decompose means what? Like decompose means, like in Tamil we call karvadu, or in English, Malay we call ikan kering, or what they call in English, like anchovy, like dry, what do you call, dry fish. Okay, the fish is actually decomposed. They take the fish, they put in the salt, and they dry it in the under the sun. Actually, it's a decomposed food. All right, decomposed. Like anchovy and all these things, right? So the decomposed food. Or sometimes they slaughter the animal, they keep it there after so long. Like in New Zealand, they bring in all this cold storage meat and all this. I don't know when they have slaughtered it, right? But they're keeping it. So it's all decomposing. All right, decompose. Putrid. Food consisting of remnants of untouchable things. All right, untouchable. Right, all these kind of nasty things. Okay, like the dead body and all these things. Okay, so what is the effect of this? Sleep, laziness, and of course, merciless. These people usually will be no mercy, right? You can see them very humble, very, very loving and all these things. But when they come to their food habit, they can look very scary. Okay. So, and after that, Krishna is explaining about sacrifice. All right. So everybody's talking about sacrifice. So what is sacrifice? Tyaga. Okay. So what kind of sacrifice is in the modes? Okay, it's very important because sacrifice is very important. Remember in chapter 2, we studied about that. Sacrifice. Chapter 2, 3, 4 also we studied about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also study about sacrifice. It's a very deep meaning. So what is a sacrifice? Very important. Right. So what is the thing? So sacrifice in the mode of goodness. That means it's performed according to the scripture. Okay, what the scripture says, follow accordingly. And it's do it at a matter of duty. That means they call devotees, come to the house. They do these kind of things. Sacrifice so that everyone benefits. It is not that I oneself benefit. Everyone benefits. Or a matter of duty. And of course, here they desire no reward. They do it without expecting anything. So what happened? The sacrifice in the mode of passion, it performed for some material benefit. Okay, now they do Lakshmi Puja, Lakshmi Kubera Puja. I don't know from where they can create all these kind of terms. Lakshmi is different, Kubera is different, right? So they call the Supreme Mother mixed with the Lakshmi Kubera. It's supposed to be Lakshmi Narayana, but now Lakshmi Kubera. So these are they for material benefit. That is the mode of Ravana. The Ravana wants Sita, but don't want Ram. Similarly, the materially affected human person, they wanted Lakshmi. They wanted Lakshmi, but they don't want Vishnu. So what happened? So that means, okay, so these all perform for the material benefit. And for what? For the sake of pride sometimes. See what kind of big sacrifice I did, right? Sometimes when they do a temple inauguration or at some temple festival, some big deal rich man will take most expensive ritual. What? For the sake of thing. So there'll be a name written. Okay. And the sacrifice in ignorance. What is that? Perform without regards of scripture. They no scripture, they just do it. No distribution of prasadam. In every time when we do fire sacrifice and all this, we must distribute prasadam. So here none. No chanting of Vedic hymns. No chanting. Without faith. Simply do without faith. And no remuneration to the priest. The priest is not paid. Okay, just example like, okay, now we take the fire. So the first thing in mode of goodness, they do properly with all the proper brahmanas and all the devotees are doing to satisfy the Lord. Second is Janamejaya. So he's doing just for the material benefit. You want to destroy all the snake in the world. So you do all these big sacrifice to kill all that snakes. But the third, the ignorance fire sacrifice is like how the terrorists start to burn the bicycles and motorbikes and all this. So these are the three modes. Now let's look at austerity of the body. Very important. 17.14. All right. What Krishna says here? Deva Dvija Guru Pranya Puja Nang Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchate. So the austerity of the body consists of worship the Supreme Lord. Okay. Deva Dvija. Dvija means second born or the Brahmanas. Guru means Guru. Okay. So it says the austerity of the body consists of worship of the Supreme Lord. Worship the Krishna, the Brahmanas, Okay, we must worship the Brahmanas. So who are the Brahmanas? Is there anybody with a string on top? Yes, they are technically a Brahmana. But the real Brahmana is the one who are the pure devotee of the Lord. Right? So we should worship the Brahmanas, or he also called as Siksha Guru. Remember yesterday I was discussing about this, the three types of Guru: Chaita Guru, Diksha Guru, and Siksha Guru. So Siksha Gurus all can be considered as Brahmanas. So that means the austerity of the body consists of worship the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors like father and mother. Okay. So the worship the superior like father and mother means what? See, it is very, very important for a child before it goes out. It should offer their obeisances to the parents, touch the feet and take blessing. Okay, it's very auspicious. But nowadays it is almost not possible. All right. Sometimes they just leave the house and go to the junction and send a message, Dad, I'm already out. I forgot to tell you. All right. So something like that. Right. So usually they like to go, as it's quite prominent in North Indian family. I see North Indian Sikh family and all these. Whenever they see elder people, they just touch the feet. But it's not prominent among the South Indians. Not prominent. Okay. So that means the superior like father and mother. And in cleanliness, okay, Shaucham. Okay. So in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. So these are the austerity of the body. That means worshipping the superior like the Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and the superiors like father and mother. And in cleanliness, and also they are in clean. The austerity of the body is also in cleanliness, to keep the body clean. As I said, how to keep the body clean? You must bathe 3 times a day minimum. All right. And you shouldn't recycle your dress. Once you're done, you have to put it to wash. You must bathe if you pass stool, if you shave, if you even cut your fingernails. All that you have to clean, you have to bathe. All right. So that's cleanliness, simplicity, living a simple life. I mean, not aspiring for something very big in life. You know, if you live a simple life, you save a lot of money. Right? If you live a simple life, you save a lot of money. You won't go through a financial condition. The financial condition a person goes through if he start to aspire big. I want to drive a Mercedes-Benz. I want to live in a huge bungalow. I want to buy, 100 pounds of gold. You know, I want my children to do this. Then you sunk it. Then you get stuck. But when you live a simple life, we have no place that to spend the money. Imagine how much money is saved. So the simplicity is very important. And of course, celibacy. Celibacy means to remain celibate. That means celibacy in the sense of, what do you call celibacy? In Sanskrit, they call brahmacharya. Brahmacharya. That means the one who do not associate with women and do not have illicit sexual activity. So the celibacy is not only for a student. The celibacy, even everyone can practice. Even a grahastha must practice. They call grahastha brahmachari. So what is a grahastha brahmachari? Even that you have license to have sex and you have license to create children, you are legally can do it. Right? But you have to still refrain yourself from that. Not simply not as you like, as you wish. Okay. So that's the celibacy. So it's austerity of the body, right? And of course, at last, non-violence. So you do not perform any kinds of violence. All right. So next is 1715, austerity of the speech. This is going to be very interesting. Now it's already 8:37. Shall we take 3 minutes break?
Yes.
All right. So we take a 3 minutes break because austerity of the speech is very important. So I like to digest whatever I've said. So we take a short break and get back. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. Now first we start with the austerity of the body. So what is the austerity of body? Number 1, worshipping the Supreme Lord. Number 2, the Brahmanas and the spiritual master. And of course, the superior like father and mother, they are worshipable. Okay. And in cleanliness, we have to keep our body very clean. And we have to have a simplicity in act, mind, and everything. Celibacy is very important. And of course, non-violence. That's austerity of the body. Now, let's go into austerity of speech. This is very important. Anutvega karangvakyam satyang priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanang chaiva vanmayang tapa uchyate. So this is very important. The austerity of the speech. So the austerity of speech consists of, okay, austerity of speech consists of speaking words that are truthful. All right, his austerity, right? To be truthful sometimes very hard, right? So speaking words that are truthful, at the same time pleasing, and speaking which is beneficial, all right, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting the Vedic literature. So that is how we should perform the austerity of our speaking ability. All right. So it's very important. So first of all, the speech filter, always think to yourself, whatever things that you're going to say, is it true? All right. Is it true? All right. So if, okay, is it true? Okay, what I'm going to say. And second, if when I'm going to say it out, will it be pleasing? All right. And thirdly, is it really beneficial? And will it not agitate people? All right. So it's very important. So if we can practice this, of course, we have no time for gossips, and especially like spreading, what is the word that they call online? Fake
Rumor.
news, rumors, fake news, and all this, that kind of things. So we have to be very, very important. We have to be very, very careful. So from now onwards, make I advise you to have a journal, right? A journal, a diary, or something like that. Every day, you make sure you write down what you have done for the day, and try to check and balance. All right. Did you say something which is not beneficial? Did you say something? All right. So speaking the words which are truthful, is better to be truthful. All right. Formerly, when I was a businessman, I was such a nasty guy. All right. Because yes, good for RDC, yes. So when I remember once I bought a generator set in Japan. Okay, it was something like what they call a bonus, right? Like a jackpot. I got the thing. I bought it only for 15 ringgit. Okay, when I bought all the things, when I calculate, the generator set is only worth 15 ringgit. I've never sold generator in my life. I only sell all the truck spare parts. So I just got something, got a place in my container. I said, just put it in. Let's see what we can do in Malaysia. So when the thing came, suddenly one guy came and said, wow, you got this, what? And I started to see why they are so excited. So suddenly one guy came, brought another foreman. He says, okay, I'm willing to buy this for 4,000. I said, what? I only bought it for 15 ringgit. And the fellow wanted to buy for 4,000. Right? Then after I say, I don't agree to the price. Let me think it over. Because I start to see when there's a demand, I don't want to commit. So I say, I think it over. Right? Then that fellow went, and the foreman that he brought, he went, take a U-turn, come back. He gave his visiting card. He says, I'll buy it for 6,000. Right? I say, huh? That guy trusted this fellow to come and check whether it works or not. And he says it's perfectly working. He offered 4,000, and this foreman went one round and come back to me and give me his visiting card and says, I'll get it for 6,000. All right. If you think, I'll buy it from you. I say, really? Okay. Then another guy came. So what happened? I just saw. I said, well, okay. I jack up the price. How much? He said, 10,000. Oh, very expensive lah. Cannot lah. This lah, that lah. And that flow went off. All right. Then after that, he came back. He said, are you willing to sell me for 8,000? I said, cannot. Then another guy came. I said, last price, 15,000 and nothing less. And that guy was arguing, 15,000 cannot, law, this, law, that. I said, you want, you take it, you don't, you just leave it. Okay. And this situation, eventually he bought it for 15,000. And of course, there's a long cable. There's a too long cable. And I said, the cable is not included. For the cable, you have to add another 2,000 each. So all total, I bought solely for 19,000. So that transaction made my father very upset. Because after my father retired, he came and stayed with me in the shop. He was so upset. He said, can't you be truthful? Can't you speak the truth? You know, because the transaction, imagine the way that I spoke to that guy is, you know, I said, look here, this is business. I'm not doing charity. Okay. So you don't get involved. So that was affected him so much. And just a day before he left his body, he had a larynx cancer. He couldn't speak. Okay, there was a hole there. He couldn't speak. He just called me. He just makes sound. I went to him, and he just wrote a small piece of letter of this thing. He just wrote it to me. That is his final instruction to me. He said, "To be truthful is the hardest thing in life, but it's worth it." All right. He wants me to be truthful because I wasn't a truthful person. And I was thinking, what is so big deal? Then when I start to study the Gita again, and that's when I start to realize, all right, to be truthful is the hardest thing, but it's worth it. So you only can manipulate and beat around the bush if you have if you have some intention. If you have some intention behind you, you'll be telling, oh, but if you don't have intention, if your mind is clear, when your conscience is clear, I've got nothing to please you, I got nothing to gain from you. So therefore, I just simply speak the truth. It is the hardest thing to do in life, but it's worth it. So Krishna says, when we speak, we must ensure that what we say is truthful. Right? So how are we going to tell the truth? Not bluntly. Right? Not bluntly they tell the truth. But before you speak the truth, you must think whether is it going to be pleasing or not. How are you going to put it in a very pleasing word? Right? Will it be pleasing to hear? Then after that, you filter again. Will it be beneficial? If I found out about this, the truth, and I want to tell, will it be pleasing? And second and thirdly, will it be beneficial? Well, if it's not, right? If I speak the truth, if it's beneficial, will that agitate someone? All right? So if you're not, just don't speak. Right? Just don't waste your time. Try to prove yourself. Because you must understand, the words are more sharper and more painful than an arrow. When the arrow is released, when the thing come and hit you, boom, you'll die. That's it. Or you survive. After that, sometime you'll be okay. But the words that uttered is worse than arrow. It goes deep into your heart and kill a person beat by beat. That's why people will go into severe stress, severe depression. Sometimes in a working place, when the bosses suddenly just bluntly speak something, all right, they'll be so upset, they come back. With that same agitation, they come and shout at the wife, shout at the husband, shout at the children. So it creates a huge, unpleasant environment. So if we can follow this, I tell you, you can create so much of pleasurable situation. So number one, what I'm going to speak, is it truthful? Okay. Is it pleasing to hear? Can I deliver it pleasingly? And number three, will it be beneficial for that person? If I speak that, will it be beneficial? And number four, will that agitate or not? So if all these things, I better don't speak about it. I do not need to talk. All right. But at the same time, you have that urge to speak. So what are you going to do? You always also regularly reciting the Vedic literature. When you read the Vedic literature, you don't simply read in your mind. All right. For instance, now I'm reading Bhagavad Gita. Not that way. So you try to recite Anutvega Karang Vakyam. Even they say your tongue cannot twist and turn. You cannot even pronounce. I mean, Anudvega Karang Vakyam Satyam Priya Hitam. Like hitam in Malay is black. So suddenly you say Priya Hitam. Hey, why you call hitam? Huh? Cha Yat Swadhyaya Vyasanang Chaiva Van, or maybe Van. We call a Van, Mayam, Tapa, Uchyate. It's okay. Even you do, because in Gita Mahatmya says, even you utter a word Van, or you just utter the word Satyam, just one word that Krishna spoke, it creates a huge purification. Because all these words are composed by Krishna, spoken by Krishna. It is not written, it's not composed by anyone else. It's the actual word, the exact word Krishna spoke. Anudvega, Karam Vakyam, Satyam. Satyam means truthfulness. Priya. Priya means loving, pleasing. Hitang yacha, chayat. So like that. Then after that you read austerity. Then you just say it out in your mouth. So don't read in your mind. Not like that. So austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful. pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting the Vedic literature. So like that. So we must be very, very important because the speech is very, very important. All right. So now let's look at austerity of the mind. Okay, what is the austerity of the mind? Mana means mind. Mana prasada saumyatvang maunam atma vinigraha bhava shangshuddhir ityetat tapo manasam uchyate. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, purification of one's existence are the austerity of the mind. All right? The austerity of the mind. That means satisfaction. That means you're always satisfied. Why? When you go to chant Hare Krishna, you are fully satisfied. Simplicity. You do not desire for something big. Gravity. That means you're very grave. Self-control. Purifications one existence are the austerity of the mind. Okay. So now let's look at that austerity in the verse 17 to 19. So what are the austerities in the mode of goodness? Okay. Transcendental faith. It creates transcendental faith. Austerity means tyaga. All right. So number one is perform out of transcendental faith and not expecting material benefit. Okay. In the mode of goodness. So that means you are doing for the faith in God and not expecting any material benefit. Just doing the sake of duty and for the sake of pleasing the Supreme. And austerity performed out of passion is when you're doing it with pride. You're doing it with so much of pride, like showmanship. Right? So gaining respect, honor, and worship. Oh, this guy is great. Gaining respect. Right? And the one austerity performed in the mode of ignorance, it performed out of foolishness. Okay, like how? Self-torture or destroy, injure others. This is the question that asked by 1719 is the question that asked when I was addressing these Myanmar devotees. All right, Myanmar devotee, there's one particular person asked from Myanmar. He said, how if the person like torture, they put the thing, the thing like for Thaipusam or for Nine God Festival, like in Ipoh, there's a Nine God Festival, the Chinese festival. They used to put parang. They used to put a screwdriver, like the whole body, they pierce so crazy, terrible. All right. All these things are what? Self-torture or destroy or to injure others. Sometimes there's a long, sometimes in Kavadi, I mean, now it's banned. I'm talking about 20 plus years ago. During Thaipusam at night, the people, they'll bring the spear, 20-foot spear, 20 foot. Can you imagine? And they pierce through the thing. And they pierce one and another one they bite. And they have churut. They'll be like, oh, well, I don't know what kind of prayers is this. Crazy. It's total mode of ignorance at night. Right? They all dress black and they'll come in a very ghastly form. So this particular boy, when they go, people who are around, they'll hit the spear. It's a very sharp spear. Hit here at the back of hit. So of course they put a lime. They put a lime on both sides so it doesn't injure anybody. So this guy, at that time I was distributing books. Suddenly I saw this guy coming. So I also stopped and watched. And they play the music. And I start dancing. And you know what happened? The whole spear, it just tear his mouth and fell down. And he's, and everybody looking down, The whole thing tear his mouth and bleeding profusely. Okay. So these are the things, austerity in the mode of foolishness, ignorance. So Krishna says in 1719. So is in a ignorance. All right. Now let's look at the charity. So we all are doing charity. So what are the types of charity that we should perform? Okay. Charity in the mode of goodness. So the charity in the mode of goodness, you have to give dutifully. So for example, when you are giving a donation or you're giving a like RDC books, sponsorship or whatever it is, or maintaining, you have to give it dutifully. Okay, this is my duty and I have to give the charity given in dutifully and no expectation of returns. Okay, no expectation. Return means they don't expect some kind of name, fame, like that. And it has to be given to at a proper place and proper time. And of course, to a worthy person. Okay. So charity in the mode of passion. So what is the charity in the mode of passion? With expectation of return. Like example, when you go for a wedding, you give ang pao. All right, we give mui, right? You give a gift. And you know what they'll do? They go back, they write down. Okay, now I go for this wedding, Padita Tarna gave 100 ringgit. Okay, they give ang pao 100 ringgit. Right? They will write it down. So in the future, when I call for my children's wedding, they'll go through the book. Hey, how much this Padita Tarna give? Oh, he gave 100 ringgit. Okay, we have give him 100 ringgit. So that is an expectation. Just imagine if they give 50 ringgit or 20 ringgit. You know what they usually, look at this. For his daughter's wedding, I gave 100. And for my daughter's wedding, this miser gave me only 20 ringgit. Useless fella. All right. I hope that you all have heard this or seen this. All right. Because I've seen it. Okay. So with expectation of returns. All right. With desire for fruit. That means sometimes I do this kind of charity. I give this kind of charity for expecting some fruits. Example, I give a big donation and I'll make in a big mock check and I show everybody around the world. See, I give 100,000 for this charity movement. For what? For what we have to do that? All right. So that you can gain name and fame. Name and fame. All right. Maybe you get dato-ship or something like that, right? And of course, in a grudging mood. The passion is so grudging mood. Like sometimes when devotees, sometimes when you're going to approach someone, donation, you fellas are always donation. Money. Nah, take, go. Grudging mood. All right. So all these are in the mode of passion. Okay. What is in the mode of ignorance? Is given at an impure place, at an improper time, to an unworthy person, without proper attention and respect. Okay, example. Okay, this is I'm sharing my personal experience. Right. Sometimes my friends all used to go for a. Sometimes my friend comes from overseas or whatever it is. They said, "Hey, I'm at this coffee shop. Okay, open air coffee shop. Please come and join." So I've not seen them. So I just went there, and all of them were drinking beer. All right, all were drinking. And that time, suddenly one fellow come. You know, the beggars knows when to beg. So you go to this kind of place, you get a lot of money. Right? So my friend was so drunk. Right? I said, what do you want? The beggar says, I'm hungry. He said, okay. You want? So he gave that charity in an impure place where everyone is drinking. The place is crazy and people are singing and all this dancing. Impure place. At what time? At 12 o'clock, midnight, or 1 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night. Improper time. And gave to who? To an unworthy person because he's collecting the money, he wants to go and drink. Right? And sometimes he say, hey, you want beer or not? Want or not? He has, take one, take, go. So, to an unworthy person, drunkards, right? And without proper attention, take and go. They don't even see the donation. All right? Without proper attention and respect. You must understand one thing. When you want to give a donation, all right, even though you are giving away your money, you have to give it very respectfully. All right? Because when a person who receives your money, all right, when he agrees to take your money to receive the charity, it purifies your existence. So when you want to give charity, even though you're giving money, you have to give it very respectfully. All right? Not like, take and go. Money, I give big money. Make sure you put my name there. Like that, no. You have to give it very respectfully. All right? So we must understand that. So when you want to give charity, especially to the devotees, you have to give it. Because once, I remember once, there's one particular person, I don't mention his name, because he might be also listening to this. He was one of the big supporter, and he was giving donation. So at that one particular moment, I went and asked him, okay, there's someone needs a book, a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. Will you like to donate? Will you like to donate? There's someone wants a Srimad Bhagavatam. All right. The English version is around 700, 800, 1,100 selling price. But of course, my price is 700, 750. So I said, then the person really can't afford it. I said, will you like to donate someone? And immediately when I asked him, he said, yeah, I've given to this temple, I gave to there, I gave here. You know, next time don't ask all this. I said, well, Prabhu, I am asking you this because once you said if anyone wants this kind of charity, please ask me. I'm asking you because you wanted me to ask. So that's why I'm asking you. And after that, he said, okay lah, I'll beg. I said, well, okay, Prabhu, let's drop the idea. I think just drop the idea. I'll look for someone else. Then after that, I didn't call him at all. Then after that, he called me up. He said, well, were you upset? No, I didn't give the... No. Sorry. I'm not to say I'm very upset or what. Well, if you don't feel like giving, I don't feel like asking from you. Not to say that I don't have anything and I'm coming and begging you money, I'm just giving you an opportunity to engage in this service. So just forget it. After that, he felt so bad. He said, no, next time you ask, no. If you feel like doing it, I'll give you the book, you're going to give it away to somebody else. All right. So something like that. So in fact, like that, I've rejected few people who like to give charity in a very show-off way. I said, don't show off to me. You go and do it yourself. All right. So it's very important because this kind of charity is actually purifying. All right. So you must understand that. So now in Act of Instruction, verse 4. In Act of Instruction, there's a book written by the instruction given by Rupa Goswami. He says, Dadati pratigranati guhyang akyati prachati bhungte bo jayate chaiva satvidam priti lakshanam. What he says? Offering gift in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prashadam, and offering prashada are the 6 symptoms of love shared by devotee to another. So how are you going to share your love to a devotee? Okay, because to a devotee, they got nothing else to talk other than Krishna Katha. Everything dovetail to Krishna. They don't simply do things which is not dovetail to Krishna. Okay, so the loving relationship, especially to a devotee, is like this offering gift in charity. Right. So when you go and visit a devotee's house, you don't go empty-handed. You bring some gift for the charity. Or usually, that tradition, what they do, they'll bring some fruits on a tray and they give it as a charity. So once they accept the charity, they don't take everything. They will keep 1 or 2 fruits and they give it back as a charity. So that's how they accept, offer and accept charitable gifts. Okay. So you only can reveal your mind in confidence. Revealing your mind in confidence, all right? And inquiring confidentially. Only to the devotee you can reveal your mind, all right? Or your confidence, all right? Because sometimes we may have some kind of amazing relationship, Krishna reciprocates and everything. You cannot simply put in your status or put in the group and people think you're crazy. But you have to reveal your mind in confidence, in confidentiality. And of course, that inquiring confidentially, okay? Then when they come, they offer prashadam. Please come and have prashadam. After the same time, accepting prashadam and offering prashadam. All right. Okay. These are the 6 symptoms love shared by devotee and another. So there are 6 kinds of activity. Number 1, giving charity to devotees, accepting from devotees whatever they may offer in return. Okay. You don't give them a 1 tray of fruit and they only return to you or maybe 1 apple. Don't think, what is this? No. Whatever they can give may offer in return. All right. Then opening one's mind to a devotee, inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord. Then after that, when they give you prashadam, they cook and offer you prashadam or spiritual food given by the devotees and feeding the devotees with prashadam. So this is the way that how we perform our austerity of our mind, act, speech, and charity in this kind of loving relationship. Okay. 23. Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanastri vida smrta brahmanastena vedascha yaknascha vihita pura. What is this? From the beginning of creation, the 3 words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. All right. So Om Tat Sat means supreme absolute truth. Okay. Because we understand, we read before, right? Om is addressing the Lord. Tat means what they call absolute. Sat means truth. Okay. All right. Okay. So indicates the word supreme absolute. These 3 symbolic representation were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during the sacrifice of the satisfaction of the supreme. So that means these kind of 3 mantras, Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat they use when indicate the supreme absolute truth. And these three symbolic representation were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during the sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Supreme. So when they conclude, they said Om Tat Sat. Like just now, when we recite this thing, after we sing that Mangalacharan. So and at last we said Om Tat Sat. All right, the supreme absolute truth. Unto that supreme absolute truth. So we are doing this just to satisfy the Supreme. 23 to 26. Om Tat Sat are the words taken from the Vedic hymns indicating the absolute truth, which is Lord Krishna. Yes, Prabhu? Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu? You want to ask something, Prabhu? Did you raise your hand? No, I saw you raise your hand. Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu, are you there?
I want to know the meaning of Tat. Om
Tat.
Tat Sat.
Okay. Now, you see here. All right. Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. So when you look here, 23, 26, Om Tat Sat means the word taken from the Vedic hymns indicating the absolute truth. Om means Om iti etat brahmano nedistam nama. All right.
Okay, bro.
That means Tattvam Asi in Chandogaya Upanishad. Sat means Sat Eva Saumya.
Is it? That Tvam Tasi Asi are not so true, Prabhu.
Yes. Now you see at the bottom here, Om. Om means transcendentalist undertaking performance of sacrifice.
Okay.
All right. Charity and penance in accordance with scriptural regulation begin with always Om to attain the Supreme.
Yeah.
So anytime when they do this performing sacrifice, when they start to chant the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, Om Gam Gana Badaye Namaha, Om, what they call? There's a Murugan mantra, I forgot. So all this, we start with Om. Om means undertaking the performance, sacrifice, charity or penance.
Yeah.
Okay. That means without desiring fruitive result.
Okay.
And should perform various kind of sacrifice, penance and charity with the word Tat. So that means when I say,
Reading Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu,
sorry?
when reading Bhagavad Gita, they mean that means that.
Yes. That means that. That means without desiring. All right. So the Tat, the word, it come from this Chandogya Upanishad. So there's Upanishad, they just take the first word Tat. Tattvam Asi.
Okay.
When we do that, dissect this thing, we say Om. So what is Om? Om iti etat brahmano nedistam nama. So the word, take Om. So Tat means from Chandogya Upanishad, Tattvam Asi. So they use the word Sat. And the Sat Eva Saumya. Okay, the word taken from this verse, Chandogya Upanishad, Canto 6, Chapter 2, Text 1.
Yeah.
So what is the absolute truth?
Yeah.
Okay, is the objective of devotional service.
Thank you.
Indicated in the word Sat. All right, like for instance, when you talk about Satchit Ananda Vigaha,
Yeah.
what is that Sat?
Eternal.
Eternal. But here the Sat is, but here it's mentioned as objective of devotional sacrifice.
Yeah.
So of course, one word got 7 meanings in Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu?
Okay.
For instance, when you accept a charity, you just say Om Tat Sat. When you're going to finish a charity, when you're going to finish up a speech, or when you're going to finish this Om Tat Sat, everything I do it as the absolute truth. Everything indicates the absolute truth of Krishna.
Yeah.
So now, when you look at the penance, sacrifice, charity, and foods, the penance, sacrifice, charity, and foods, when aimed at the Supreme, Om Tat Sat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they become means of spiritual elevation. All right. So that means all the thing, Om Tat Sat means what? Aiming at the Supreme. Okay, Prabhu? They become the means of spiritual elevation. So aim at that. So that means penance, sacrifice, charity. So penance means the austerity, the penance we do. Sacrifice, the Tyaga, that means chanting Hare Krishna and all this, or distributing Bhagavad Gita, or using your money to buy some Bhagavad Gita and all this. Charity, you are giving away charity to a devotee and all this. And the food, that means you're taking the food, you're offering to Krishna and all this. All right. All this aimed at the Supreme. And aiming at the Supreme means we call it Om Tat Sat. All right. So all these things are meant for spiritual elevation. Now the word Om Tat Sat is quite common. Everyone is saying Om Tat Sat. But of course, they don't know. But indirectly, they are saying all these are aiming at the Supreme Personality. All right. So now, austerity aim at the Supreme. What are the austerity that you can aim at the Supreme? That means fasting. So when you fast on Ekadasi day or Janmastami, okay, Ekadasi. So what do you do? On this day, you become a fruitarian. Take fruits only. Don't take grains. All right. Don't take chapati. Don't take idli. Don't take dal, lentils, all this. Just have a fruit diet, which is very good for your health. That's why I call it fruitarian. Like vegetarian, we become fruitarian. All right. So what are the days? So if you think you want to diet, at least do it on this Ekadasi day. Don't do it other days because you don't get any benefit. At least on Ekadasi day, you get benefit. All right. Ekadasi day, try to take only fruits. Okay. And of course, in Janmastami day. All right. Like on the 12th to 12th, 13, 14, 15, 16. 5 days we call Bhishma Panchaka. So the Bhishma Panchaka fasting is coming up. Iskandar Balan Prabhu just now called me up, asked me, I think he planned to fast. Of course, that fasting is really fantastic. Of course, 5 days on fruit diet. All right. But of course, if you can't do it, it's okay. But the most important, chant Hare Krishna, distribute Bhagavad Gita and read Bhagavad Gita. It's good enough. But try to fast on Ekadasi, at least Ekadasi day. We have Ekadasi twice a month. We just had a Ekadasi, Rama Ekadasi around last week before Deepavali. Then we're going to have another Ekadasi by mid of this month, right? So the Ekadasi. So whenever I just put there, today is Ekadasi day. So you understood that Ekadasi means the day that you become a fruit diet. Just take fruits. If you can remain without food, is better. If you can remain fasting just with water, it's okay, better. But make sure on that day, don't drink tea, coffee all. Don't drink tea, coffee. Hey, tea is only leaf word. Don't. No tea, no coffee, only fruit diet. Okay. But next day you start to see your...
Question, Prabhu?
Yes,
Question.
Prabhu?
Ekadasi dates on the calendars that we buy from the normal Indian grocery
Yeah.
shops
Hmm?
differ from the dates that are given by ISKCON Center. Why?
Yeah. Okay. See, the date is determined, what they call, say like for instance, the Muhurta starts when the sun rises, it should fall on that Muhurta. Example, the sun rising on Ekadasi day, that day is Ekadasi in Malaysia. Example, the Ekadasi timing starts say at 7:45 in the morning. But the sun rising in Malaysia at 7:30 in the morning. So after the sunrise, the Muhurta starting. So the day for Malaysia is not counted as Ekadasi. But the calendar that you buy is printed in India. So for India is 2.5 hours. All right. So 2.5 hours behind. So that means the sun is already, before the sunrise, the Ekadasi Tithi is already started. So that's why in India, they celebrate as Ekadasi. Okay, Prabhu? Say like sometimes when you see Paurnami, the full moon, or Amavasya, the dark moon. So the Amavasya and the full moon and all these things, we say, hey, everybody start to celebrate today is full moon. I say, no, tomorrow is full moon actually. All right? Tomorrow is actually the full moon. I say, what do you mean? Today, what the calendar says today? Yes, today, because in India, when the sunrise is already rising in Paurnami Tithi, the time of Paurnami. All right? But now here in Malaysia, when the sun rising, the Paurnami hasn't come in. After the sunrise, then few minutes later or few hours later, the Paurnami Tithi starts. You got it, Prabhu?
But Prabhu, the calendars that we buy either from Madura or any other Indian shops, the calendars, the timings are based in Malaysian time.
No, it's printed in, they follow that printed in Malaysia, but follow the Malaysian India time.
Oh, I thought it was
No, it's
Malaysianized.
printed in Malaysia. No, not Malaysianized. They get the date from there, they simply hantam, print.
Okay. There was an occasion where the dates differed from what ISKCON Center sent when the Ekadasi was. It was almost like 1 day difference.
Yes. Even like ISKCON India, they celebrate Ekadasi today, but ISKCON Malaysia celebrates next day. It's all at the time the sun rise. So what muhurta, the time, the sun, when the sun arising, and what muhurta, that is the muhurta for the day. Example, if you see, the sun rises on Monday, the sun rises on Soma Muhurta. So when the sun rising on Soma Muhurta, that day is called Monday. Right? Okay, example, I give you something you can understand. Surya. Okay, Sunday is a Sunday, it's a day of sun. Okay, when the sun rises on Sunday, it rising on Surya Muhurta. You got it, Prabhu? That's why we call the day as Sunday.
Oh, I see. But see, most of us actually who are not well versed with astrology. We only follow what's in the calendar and the timings that they give.
Exactly.
So,
That's why I suggest you to have these apps called Trick Panjang. There's a apps they call Drik Panjang, DRIK Panchang. Drik Panchang. It is give you a very accurate time in your Ipoh time or whatever locality time.
oh, just like how the Muslims have or
even you say that even when they look at the timing also, there's two timing. One is follow the Drik Panjangam. Second one follow the what's another Panjangam? Tirukanidam. Another one is Drik Panchang is called Tirukanidam. Tirukanidam means it is a mathematic. Tiru means Vishnu. So mathematics. Tirukanidam. Another one is what? Tirukanidam. Another one, there's another term. Okay, this is what all the temple pujari will be keeping, the yellow color book. All right, that is very simple, very basic, just
Panjangam
like
Panjangam.
Huh?
Panjangam lah. The yellow
Yeah,
book.
Panjangam, but there's two type. One is Tirukanidam. Another one is there's Panjangam. There's a term for it. So that Panjangam that they see, it is something like a numerology. Numerology, any Tom, Dick and Harry can talk about numerology. Oh, number one person, you are like this, number two like this, number three like that. So Tirukanidam and that Panjangam, I forgot the name. That Panjangam, there's at least 1-2 hours different.
Oh, thank you, Prabhu. Can you just send the link for the app?
Can.
Thank you.
So that's why the Vedic calculation, they always follow Tirukanidam or Drik Panchang. Okay. So on Ekadasi day, it's a day that is suitable for fasting. And of course, it's very auspicious. All right. So sacrifice, aim at the Supreme. What is the sacrifice that you can do that aim at the Supreme? Om Tat Sat. What is the sacrifice for Supreme? Sankirtana Yagya. Sankirtana Yagya is meant for Kali Yuga. Not setting up fire and say Swaha, Swaha and all these things. Of course, I don't believe in that because the Shastra says it doesn't work in Kali Yuga. Okay. In Kali Yuga, you don't have a proper Brahmana, you don't have a proper, sometimes when you just chant the mantra wrongly, all this, something. Unless you hire the really trained Brahmanas from ISKCON, Vaishnava Brahmana, then they are okay. All right, because they have a guru to nullify everything. That's why before we start, we chant our Guru mantra. Why? The Guru will protect us from mistake. If there's any mistake, Guru will nullify it. All right. And they are initiated as Brahmana. That means they got Gayatri mantra. So there's another powerful mantra. But of course, chanting Hare Krishna is the most powerful. Right. But other than that, if you're going to call that some rituals, some from temples and all these, we don't know whether they are really right or not. But anyway, just to keep safe, Sankirtan Yagya is meant for Kali Yuga. Kriteyat dhyayato Vishnum Tretayam yajato makai dvapare paricharyayam kalautat dari kirtanat. Whatever result obtained in Satya Yuga, the first Yuga, by meditating on Vishnu. The first Yuga, remember, you do full meditation. And in Treta Yuga, by performing big sacrifice, fire sacrifice. And in Dwapara Yuga, by serving the Lord Lotus feet. That means they build huge temples and they do this big this thing. Can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's considered that you have done a fantastic tapasya in Satya Yuga. consider that you've done a big fire sacrifice in Treta Yuga, and consider that you've done a fantastic temple worship in Dwapara Yuga. All the three benefits you obtain in Kali Yuga simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's why I'm saying, I'm stressing the RDC formula works wonders. So chanting 16 rounds, it's a must, right? At first, it's going to be tough. What is he simply going to recite? But just go through it. It's proven for the last 500 over years, and by all this Namacharya, all the great Acharya, even Prabhupada went to America just equipped with this mantra. He never had books and nothing. Just by mantra, he convinced the whole world to have a disciplined life, to have an ecstatic life. Can you imagine how powerful is the mantra? But now I can't chant. The tongue doesn't twist. It's okay. Even like, for instance, like Valmiki, the one who wrote Ramayana, Valmiki, he was a thief. When Narada Muni initiated him, he couldn't pronounce the word Rama. He said, he couldn't pronounce. So then what Valmiki said, now you call Mara. Mara, Mara. You just say Mara, upside down, Mara. Eventually the word Rama came. All right. For some, it's going to be a tough because we have so conditioned. Our tongue is so numb. All right. We have stayed in this material world for millions and millions and millions of years. All right. The tongue is so numb, can't chant the name of Krishna or Ram. All right. So how to do it? Once we understood the truth, we have to train the tongue. The tongue has become as hard as a stone. Right. Now you have to break it. Rama, Hare Krishna. Whether you got the taste or not, force into it. And eventually you'll come to that perfect stage. Don't give up. Okay. So charity aim at the supreme, like, okay, what are the other things you can do? Is help in propagating Krishna consciousness by donating money. All right. That's the easiest thing that everyone can perform, by giving donation. Example, give donation for book distribution. All right. Like the day there's one person have given a donation in memory of a elder sister who passed away. Okay. She is none other than my mom. Okay. That day my aunt passed away in this thing. So my mother was thinking, I want to do, because my auntie, she's not a devotee and she's like very materialistic person. My mother always worried, what is going to be a destination? So she was thinking this, she was thinking that. I said, the only thing you can nullify, if you can simply sponsor Srimad Bhagavatam. And thank God there's a devotee said, I want it so badly. Okay, because Bhagavatam everybody want to give, but people must receive it. So that particular devotee accepted it, and we have distributed it. And of course, this thing. So doing charity, donating money for book distribution, building Krishna temple, prasadam, to maintain and handle the centers, all these things is going to be very good. Okay. Then food offered to Supreme Lord. That means without onion and garlic. So prepare a nice meal. Don't put patai and don't put durian. Don't offer durian. Right? Anything pungent. Everything is so clean and so nice. Right? Make it without tasting. Don't worry whether the food tastes good or not. You will see the miracle. You'll be wondering, did I cook that? Okay, at least once a week, try. Make some preparation. Offer it to Krishna. Put a tulasi and just put it in front of Krishna, in front of Prabhupada, and say, my dear Prabhupada, please offer this food to Krishna on my behalf. I'm so not qualified, but I'm trying my best. So, dear Krishna, please accept my offering. I'm doing it with all my heart. Because Krishna knows your intention. And after that, when you eat that food, you'll be amazing. Did I eat that? Did I cook that? I can't believe it. It's very common. All right. If those who have not experienced it, try it. You just can make one chapati and one sabji. Also okay. One chapati, one sabji with water. You can't get that. At least offer some kismis, some fruits. But do offer something. If you can't do any of these, just at least offer a water with tulasi. Oh, I don't have a tulasi. I don't have a deity. I don't have a form of Krishna in my house. It's okay. Take your Bhagavad Gita and offer it to Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita is no different than Krishna. Okay. So again, as I say, take the commitment, RDC formula. Now the wedding season is now is a very good wedding season. Don't go and give money. Give them Bhagavad Gita. Give them a wedding gift, Bhagavad Gita, and they will remember you for life. And eventually, somehow, they will have a turning point. When they touch the Bhagavad Gita, start read, their whole life transformed. But whatever it is, the chanting of 16 rounds, do not miss it. Even though you feel your tongue is numb, you can't do it, it's okay. Force yourself into it. Some or other, you'll perfect it. All right. So with that, we end the session. Is there any questions or any comment? Chapter 17 is very nice, right? Very interesting chapter. Okay. Because if you're going to take one verse, you can dive deep and deep and deep into it. Right. And of course, chapter 18 is another amazing chapter. Of course, tomorrow, not tomorrow, on Friday. Okay. Any questions? No questions? All right. So if there's no question, we end the session here. Thank you very much for giving me a wonderful moment. Okay. Because of your enthusiasm, I'm talking about this Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is giving me so much of pleasure. Okay. It is just like exchanging our, our pleasure. So please forgive me if I've said anything that offended anyone. Okay. And always remember the austerity of speech. Keep it with yourself, write it somewhere, mark it, and even if you can, you print it out and paste it on the wall, right? Or make it, just take a photo and keep it as your wall. Okay, the speech must be truthful, must be pleasing, must be beneficial, and not agitating. If you can just practice this, you're going to have a beautiful life. You won't have any enemies, you won't have anything, and people will just respect you. Okay. So this is one of the peace formula that recommended in Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, Prabhu, for giving me Bhagavatam. I still can't believe. Yes. Yes. I wish I can start the Bhagavatam class soon. Anyway, I've got a lot of desire, but of course, I need to concentrate in my business a bit, because for the last 3 months, I was like totally into this Gita Gyan. And so anyway, please pray for me. Please bless me so that I can do more and more program to satisfy Guru and Krishna. And so Rajalakshmi, please open up the book, start to read. And how to read Bhagavatam? Read the introduction first very thoroughly. It's going to be a huge introduction. Okay, the introduction part is very important. Okay, then when you go to verse 1, okay, verse 1, and that verse 1, the purport is going to be another long purport. Also read it. The first 3 verses are very important. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if Krishna blesses and by the acharyas, they approve, maybe we can start our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Till then, have a beautiful evening, and we see again on Friday. And those who are in Ipoh, please come and join our Namahat class. Namahat program tomorrow, starting at 7:30 p.m. So till then, have a wonderful day. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubevacha paditanam pavenebhyo vaishnavebhayo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Good night. Gauranga. Haribol.